Hello, namaste, and a very warm good morning to all. Welcome to the last day of this 5 days FDP titled Infrastructure, sponsored by All India Council for Technical Education or organized by Department of Civil Engineering, JEC Bilaspur. Let's start the very first session of the day titled Retrofitting of Structures, presented by Dr. G.D. Ram Tikar, Professor and Head Department of Civil Engineering, National alumni of JC Bilaspur. He has completed his master's from STSITS Indore and PhD from Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay in structural engineering. He was also a university gold medalist in his bachelor's. He has a wide experience of 29 years in research and teaching and 1 year as scientific officer at Nuclear Power Corporation of India. He has more than 70 research publications in different international and national journal and conferences, and also guided around 11 PhD research scholars. He was nominated for Marquis Who's Who for 2011 edition of Who's Who in the World. He has carried out many consultancy-based projects in which structural design and supervision of 82-meter high monument Jat Kham at Girod Puri Dham, Raipur, was one of the tallest monument in India, is quite prestigious. He is also a member of different prestigious societies like Institution of Engineers, Indian Concrete Institute, and others. Parallelly, he is also carrying different corporate and social responsibilities. Sir, we extend a warm welcome to you and request you to begin the session. Vivek, sir?
This is actually the faculty development program, as I know. So I will start with my yesterday's experience basically. Yesterday we had our interview for MTech course in structural engineering and water resource departments of civil engineering department, and we had 7 participants there. All were working somewhere and doing the works of civil engineering and structural engineering in the field. When we asked the simplest kind of question that could be asked, like a cantilever beam subjected to uniformly distributed load, what will be the maximum bending moment and where will be the maximum bending moment? These simple questions we asked that generally start in first semester engineering mechanics, I think. Am I audible?
Yeah. Very well audible.
Yes. So that question, that simple question I asked, and we found that none except one have given the correct answer. And it doesn't matter whether he has given a correct answer or not, but absurdity of the answer was there, that they all were saying it is the maximum bending moment will be at the tip, free end of the cantilever. And this is the state of affair of the teaching that we see these days, and students are aspiring for doing MTech in structural engineering.
Professor Ramtekar, I would like to add something more here. You told about the guys who came for MTech admission, and I'll tell you, I used to go for the faculty interviews conducted by university at different colleges. The state of affair is same.
Exactly similar.
The teachers who are teaching
the
structures
last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Actually, I am pathetic situation, and actually I am talking about the next situation that we did there. We decided to leave away all these waste products outside NIT Raipur. That is what actually the decision we taken, and we have not allowed anybody to get admission in this MTech course.
That's a good decision. But how you will run your course?
There are gate participants already there. It was the sponsored candidates, and we were having 2 seats in structural engineering and 6 seats in water resources. For this pathetic situation, though there is a situation all coming from the primary and secondary educations also, and the scenario is like that only. But for the development of a teacher, we must have an attitude. The what in a nutshell I try to bring it like this is that we must have an attitude. And when we talk about an attitude, attitude has two types, I think. One is attitude of excellence and other is attitude of negligence. चलता है attitude भी है और attitude of excellence भी है. And remember, when we have any of these two attitude, it all is reflected in all the tiny activities that we perform in our daily life. If we are passionate about our excellence, then this attitude will be reflected throughout. And similarly, if we are negligent, this attitude will be reflected throughout the working of a person in general and teacher also. So my point is, we all must have an attitude of excellence. An attitude of excellence, I would talk about the attitude is shaped. And attitude doesn't matter where you shaped it, it leads our life accordingly. An example of that I would share is like that people are talking about that there are many great bowlers happened in cricket, but out of all those bowlers who happened to be good bowlers and renowned bowlers in earlier time, only Kapil Dev and Imran Khan was found to have bowled the least number of no balls in their cricket matches. And when it was found why these two persons have bowled least number of no balls, it was observed that they have a practice of not bowling a single no ball in their net practices. So it doesn't matter where you shaped your attitude, it reflects in all the sphere of your life. They were not bowling a no ball means they were not taking not seriously like that. They were taking the activity of net practice as seriously as the actual practice, and that has shaped their this attitude. So what I want is that we all must have an attitude of excellence. Then only we can bring out some good changes in our teaching aptitude. And for that reason, I would say that what I would say is this there are many likes and dislikes in our life. Some likes are good for good, some likes are for bad. जैसे कि दिन भर हम क्रिकेट मैच अगर देखने लगे तो वो एक bad likes है. But for excellence to bring, we have to subordinate our likes and dislikes for the purpose of our life. And at the other end, if we are not able, then we have to subordinate our purpose of life for the likes and dislikes of this our purpose, likes and dislikes. So in this way, in nutshell, I would like to tell that all of us can have a good, excellent attitude for to be brought in our whole behavior, our whole personality. And remember, one thing I take it example from structural engineering. Like in structural engineering, the strain energy that we talk is for the whole structure. Strain energy is never for a part of it or just for a point of it. Strain energy is for whole of the structure system. Similarly, attitude is for the whole personality of the person. It is not for merely that he is good in this kind of activity and he is bad in that. No, excellence is an attitude, and attitude reflects is whole of your personality. And remember, it is never too late. You remember that today is the first day for rest of your life. Remember this thing, today is the first day for rest of your life. So with this, I would like to share my today's presentation on this earthquake engineering and retrofitting techniques. FDP on infrastructure, I have taken this general topic because I know that participants are from various fields of engineering. So it is on the seismic effect on buildings and retrofitting techniques. So here also that somewhere we will have that attitude issue also, that I will talk to you. So let us see the presentation sequence will be like this. It will be Bhuj earthquake because it is the biggest earthquake that happened, and it has the Bhuj earthquake that has changed all the scenario. And here is also an attitude that since this earthquake happened in a state of Gujarat in the year 2001, before that many earthquakes took place at Latur, at Bihar, at Assam. It is very frequent earthquake, that kind of earthquake is happening, but Gujarat has taken it seriously, and they have all along, means all the authorities of Gujarat Development, Gujarat State Development Authority, and all those authorities have come together. They have contacted persons from NIT, from IIT Kanpur, Dr. S.K. Jain. They have formed National Education on Earthquake Engineering. We all got benefited from that. So basically, whole of the country took up that issue in that way because it happened in Gujarat. And that is one, what an attitude, because today I see there are many literatures coming from this Gujarat Development Authority, which are talking about how earthquake should be analyzed, means with examples and everything, means naturally they are paying for that, and it is brought to general public at free of cost. That is the attitude that they shown, and that is what I was talking about, attitude of an excellence attitude. So earthquake, what can we learn from it? Impact of an earthquake. Then we will talk about seismic effect on building, seismic retrofitting at various elements, and then I will talk about a case study that we performed here. So in this way, let us talk about the Bhuj massacre that happened. This happened on January 26, 2001, and it was actually the 52nd Republic Day of India. It was the time of 8:46 a.m. in the morning, and when all the small kids, students were dressed up and participating in the procession of the this celebration of Republic Day. It was that time that in Gujarat state, which was one of the most developed state, it was an earthquake. An earthquake rocks the cities of Ahmedabad, Bhuj, and Anjur. The statistics are saying that over 20,000 people died in this massacre, which took place for 1 or 2 minutes only. Means the earthquake was for a few seconds, and that vibration of the building was for few minutes, and it took away 20,000 people died there. 1,65,000 people injured, more than 20,000 people sustained serious injuries, more than 100 multi-storied building collapsed like placards in Ahmedabad. This is the first time that happened in so big way, that multi-storied building, RCC framed structure building collapsed. And there also is an attitude problem that I will narrate sometime. Then over 1,87,000 Pakka houses collapsed, more than 5 lakh houses severely damaged. This is the statistics. With this statistics, can we think of the losses in terms of money? Means if so big is the losses, it is really impossible to assess the loss in terms of money. But more than that, we should not only think in terms of money, but the many other losses, irreparable losses, that people have lost their near and dears in this earthquake. So we must have a view on this, that how much it causes that an earthquake. We must think about this question, that who is responsible. And when we talk about who is responsible, sometimes we say that it is the earthquake, So the question is it the magnitude of earthquake that has taken resulted in this huge calamities? And the second is it the magnitude of our negligence on part of civic authorities, architects, engineers, and builders? This all we will see in subsequent slides. So, just about an earthquake, we all know that earthquake is a natural phenomena. And when it is a natural phenomena, it can neither be predicted nor it can be prevented. This thing must be kept in our mind for all the time, because it cannot be predicted precisely. Somebody somewhere in China once predicted about the possibility of earthquake on a particular day, and fortunately, more than fortunately, it is unfortunately that happened on that day. And when it happened on that day, naturally people were not prepared, though it was being predicted by somebody. Next time people were asking him to predict for next earthquake, and for all the next earthquakes that he predicted, he failed to predict it correctly, and actually the earthquake didn't occur. And because of the preparation and because of the faith on that person, there were evacuation of the from the cities, and lakhs of money is actually invested in the giving shelter to those persons at some other locations, and actually the earthquake didn't occur. That is how it is more than that happened. So we must understand that it cannot be predicted nor it can be prevented. Then what can be done? Only we can protect our buildings by suitable engineering provisions. This is the only thing left with us as an engineer. Naturally, over the years, much of the research have gone into it, because they are in England, Japan, USA, a lot many research going on, and that way engineering acumen exists. आज की हमारे इसमें समझ अवेलेबल है, but enforcing law doesn't exist that with that severity. थोड़ा थोड़ा धीरे धीरे आ रहा है, बट इन्फोर्सिंग लॉ गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर में इसको फॉलो करने लगे, क्योंकि इट इज नॉट कास्ट इफेक्टिव दैट वे. कास्ट थोड़ा सी बढ़ती है, तो इन्फोर्सिंग लॉ इज नॉट दैट क्लियर एंड दैट इन्फोर्सिंग. Though engineering acumen exists and enforcing law doesn't exist, hence there is calamity taking place. नहीं तो जापान में भी हम सुनते हैं कि बहुत ह्यूज अमाउंट का अर्थक्वेक आता है, एंड वी टॉक अबाउट द कैजुअलिटीज, इट इज हार्डली 1% or 2% that happens. Here in India, 20,000 persons died in Bhuj earthquake. It is a big thing, and naturally there is something related to enforcing law that matters. So let us talk about what an earthquake, impact of an earthquake, how it affects our life. Loss of life is a natural means effect of that. Many casualties that takes place because of the earthquake, and the way this thing happened is really tremendous, means बहुत ज़्यादा heart breaking है. Loss of property is natural there. हेरिटेज स्ट्रक्चर्स गेट्स डैमेज्ड, जिसको कि आप बहुत संभाल के रखते हो, बहुत खर्चा करते हो, आर्कियोलॉजिकल डिपार्टमेंट, उसमें भी डैमेज होता है. प्रॉपर्टी कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ बिल्डिंग पूरी भी कोलैप्स होती है, और कंपोनेंट्स भी इररिपेरेबल या रिपेरेबल फॉर्म में डैमेज होता है. देन होल टाउनशिप गेट्स सेटर्ड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट. देयर आर primary health centers which are very important in that moment of an earthquake. They also got shattered because of that. Health centers, civic amenities like hospitals and all those things. School buildings also gets collapsed. Railway line, which is the lifeline of any transportation, gets damaged. Communication lines gets damaged. All the towers get shattered. This bridges also gets collapsed. For this bridge, whole of the deck slab portion is gone. It is gone inside the river. This happened in Bhuj earthquake. Roads are in this form, means through which we cannot take our vehicles from one side to other side. This happened. Electricity supply is collapsed. Harbor activities get settled. Economy, industry comes to stand still. Economy is badly damaged because of this situation. Losses are very difficult to estimate in terms of money that way. Virtually, I should say, virtually everything gets settled because of an earthquake in a large area. That is the impact of an earthquake we must understand. Now, let us have a glimpse of the construction practices which resulted in these calamities. I will talk briefly about all these things, that what has mattered, that एक बिल्डिंग तो अच्छी रह गई और दूसरी बिल्डिंग कोलैप्स हो गई और लॉस ऑफ लाइफ हो गया, इररिपेरेबल हो गया। मतलब लोगों का चलो ठीक है, जान भी बच जाता तो समझ में आता कि वो जीवन में कमा लेगा, लेकिन जान भी चली जाती है। Why this happened? We must think about this. So this is one of such example of a Tagore Park apartment in Ahmedabad, which was a G+4 story building constructed in 1992, just 9 years behind the earthquake that took place. What happened? This is the location of a first story, means stilt floor column. Still, generally in a multi-storied building, what we construct is that the ground portion is kept for parking purposes, and from the upper portion there is flats available. So in upper portion there is column beam system, but associated with this are there walls available. In the ground portion there is no wall available as such because of the free parking of the cars and vehicles. In that sense, when we talk that a brick wall which is considered as a non-structural member in general, because ये केवल वजन देता है, हम इस मान के चलते हैं और ऐसे ही हम उसकी स्ट्रक्चरल डिजाइन करते हैं. But when it comes to lateral support of it and lateral stability of it or lateral stiffness of it, means whenever a wall is put lateral force, it offers in that. So that happened from in the upper part of it, that resistance is coming. But you should understand that earthquake is a displacement primarily. Earthquake is acceleration also. Earthquake is basically a vibration. So when earthquake is a vibration, it creates a displacements also, to and fro displacements. And earthquake doesn't means differentiate between a small thing and a big thing. Earthquake खुद अपने आप में इतना बड़ा है कि उसके लिए सब छोटे हैं, चाहे वो बड़ी बिल्डिंग हो या छोटा सा एक तिनका जमीन में पड़ा हुआ हो, सबको वो बराबर अमाउंट से हिलाने की ताकत रखता है. और जब वो इस बिल्डिंग को स्वे करता है, चूंकि ऊपर के पार्ट की स्टिफनेस ज्यादा है बिकॉज ऑफ द इनफिल वॉल्स, सबसे ज्यादा अफेक्टेड होता है बॉटम पोर्शन. एंड व्हेन दिस बॉटम पोर्शन इज largely deformed by, say for example डेल्टा अमाउंट से अगर डिफॉर्म हो रहा है, डेल्टा अमाउंट से वो डिस्प्लेस हो रहा है टू एंड फ्रो, एंड इफ इट हैज ए लेंथ ऑफ L, मॉडुलस ऑफ इलास्टिसिटी इज E, and moment of cross sectional area about this second moment of area about this cross section is say I. In that way the moment that is generated here, all those in the civil engineering field will understand that the moment that will be generated here will be of the magnitude 6 EI delta upon L square. That is the bending moment generated at this location because of earthquake. And similarly, a shear force of 12 EI upon delta into L cube. 12 EI delta upon L cube, that magnitude of shear force is getting generated here, where delta is basically offered by the earthquake. Delta is offered by earthquake, rest is the scenario that 12 EI delta upon L cube is the shear force. That big amount of shear force when occurs here and the structure is not designed for that, naturally there will be a failure of this kind. Moreover, in construction practice, if you will see, we generally cast our columns up to this location, up to this height. In the next slide, it will be more proper. Here, generally, this first is columns are casted up to this, and from this portion to upper portion, this column along with these beams and slab are casted in second phase. So in this second phase, when they are casted, the concrete, because there is a congestion of steels in this location, and a engineer associated with the construction and standing at that location during construction doesn't know probably the importance of this location, one thing, and there is difficulty in pouring the concrete at this location. When these two things are there, that not understanding the importance of the location and also difficulty in pouring the concrete, that engineer there or any person there is not taking it seriously, and as much whatever is possible, that much concrete goes inside and leaving the voids in it. That voids, leaving voids there, and also the rings are not closely spaced with intention. मीन्स जैसा स्पेसिंग ऑफ रिंग्स यहाँ पर है, वैसी स्पेसिंग ऑफ रिंग यहाँ पे भी कर दिए. अगर ये सिचुएशन है तो अंडर दिस अर्थक्वेक लोडिंग, all this concrete from inside, which is wide, full of voids, it is brittle, it will crush away and it will come out of the situation. It will come, this concrete will come out from this location, and only these slender bars are available to take the heavy load from the upper floors. These are unable to take that heavy load on their own. चाहे वो स्टील की बार हो, वो स्लेंडर बार अगर वर्टिकली डाउनवर्ड हैवी फोर्स आएगा तो ये बकल होंगी ही. और अभी तक के बकल इसलिए नहीं हो रही थी कि वो कन्फाइंड था, उसके अंदर कंक्रीट भरा हुआ था और आजू बाजू में this rings were there to confine it. When there was a confinement, it was able to sustain that load, and on the unconfined conditions, when concrete has come out of this situation, it is all falling away, and this small deformation or displacement of the building at this location will lead to the collapse of the whole building. It may lead to collapse of the whole building. Though for this building it has not happened, but it can happen for any building, and the start of the collapse with this kind of a failure may take place. So remember, the important thing is this location which is avoided and neglected during construction must be given the topmost priority during construction. The engineer at the site must know the implication during an earthquake, what will happen and what should I do at this time of construction. Closely spaced springs and whatever that the construction practice is like this, that it is constructed up to this in first step, and this rest of the portion is constructed along with the slabs here. And the thing is, there is congestion of reinforcement here. If any moment you do not get my voice, then you can ring me. Huh? I am available with this mobile.
Sure, sir.
Okay.
Sure.
So because of the congestion of reinforcement here, and the site engineer unaware, the site engineer may not be knowing the importance of this location. What happens is concrete is very porous and full of voids here in this location because of the improper compaction at this location. क्योंकि compaction करने के लिए तकलीफ उठानी पड़ती है. Site engineer has to devise some mechanism, some indigenous technique to compact the concrete at this location. If it is not done, the concrete will be full of voids here, and as soon as an earthquake hits at this area, all the concrete inside will come out of the column portion, and only these bars, slender bars, are there to take the load. And these bars are so slender that they are unable to take the heavy load coming from the upper floors, and it leads to the collapse of the whole structural system for this simple failure at this location. अगर इसको ऐसा कर दिया जाता कि at this location proper care would have been given, the closely स्पेस्ड रिंग्स यहाँ पे बना दी जाती और कंक्रीट के कॉम्पैक्शन का ध्यान दे दिया जाता, ये फेलर नहीं होता अर्थक्वेक में. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ इफ दिस अर्थक्वेक फेलर इज नॉट टेकिंग प्लेस, whole building could be saved because of that. So these are the things that actually happens in areas, so one must take care of all these locations. Now are you getting it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now I am talking of another example. This is a lift core of a building. It is a G+4 story building constructed in 1996. It is a lift core of the building, naturally made with RCC walls. These on all the four sides there is RCC wall, and naturally when there is a RCC wall of 2 or 2.5 meter wide, these walls are there. They have a large capacity of shear resistance. These are actually acting as a shear walls, and all that force that a earthquake is offering, 90% of the force will be taken off these shear walls, and all the other surrounding columns could be showed if these columns through the beams and slabs are rigidly connected with this. मतलब ये वैसा ही है कि परिवार में एक बहुत बड़ा आदमी है जो बहुत सब पैसे वाला है और सोर्सेस वाला है, और उसके सारे जो परिवार के मेंबर अगर उससे बहुत अच्छे से कनेक्टेड रहेंगे तो सारे उनके भी प्रॉब्लम जो है ये ले लेगा, एंड इट विल नॉट मींस दीज ऑल पीपल विल बी हार्मलेस, will remain will not be affected by any eventuality. But if there is no proper connection in between, the situation will be like this, that all the surrounding columns collapsed and whole building collapsed basically, and this one tower left here because it was stronger. And there, since there was no proper connectivity of all the other columns through beams and slabs on this shear walls, all this got collapsed, and loss of life took place as 4 members died there because of this casualty, and many may have been injured seriously. So this is one lesson that we learned from this effect. This is another kind of example that this is a corner column, and this is a corner column, and due to earthquake what we see, there is a failure of the beam column joint. These are the beams. There is a failure of beam column joint here, but if you will see, the failure actually has taken place though at the beam column joint, but failure is there of the column rather than that of the beam. Now remember, if a column fails, whole building will collapse. It is a catastrophic failure. And if a beam fails, it is a local failure. वो वहीं का नुकसान करेगा, बाकी बिल्डिंग सेफ रहेगी. But if this column fails, whole of the building is going to collapse because of this. And that is why a philosophy in earthquake design has been taken care of, and it is mandatory in these days that 13920 is the code for that we must have a strong column and weak beam. Doesn't mean weak beam doesn't mean कि वो उसकी फोर्स लेने की कैपेबिलिटी ना हो, ऐसा नहीं है. स्ट्रांग का मतलब वैसा नहीं. वीक बीम का in relative term, this is weak beam as compared to a strong column. Means whenever failure takes place at this location, failure should be initiated and taken place in the beam portion rather than in the column portion. This is what is the philosophy of saying strong column and weak beam in relative term. So this must be practiced in, and there are measures given, there are calculations given in the code for having a strong column and weak beam that should be followed in earthquake prone area definitely. This is another example of a kind of failure. This is a T-shaped building. This is a horizontal line, and this is another line. X-axis and Y-axis you can take. So this is a T-shaped building. Now probably the earthquake vibrations are more in this direction. In this length direction, the earthquake force was there and vibrating the building like this. Naturally, if it is a lengthwise too lengthy building, then this part of the building will have more moment of inertia, and thereby it is a stiffer structure. Because I is larger, so EI is larger. So in that way, this part of the building is having much larger stiffness in terms as compared to this portion, because its width in this direction is smaller and its moment of inertia is smaller, and hence its rigidity, it is a flexible member as compared to this. When both of them are simultaneously being vibrated because of the earthquake, this portion being vibrating in a different mode, and this is vibrating in a different mode, there will be stress concentration at this junction, and this stress concentration at this junction lead to the failure at this location. Now under this situation, what should have been done was that this building and this portion of the building should have a expansion joint at this location, or earthquake joint for that matter, we should say. A joint in between the two means we can use that simultaneously, but it is constructed separately and this is constructed separately, should have been there, so that it would have been vibrating in on its own particular modes, and it will be vibrating in its own way, and both of them are not disturbing each other, and that is how this building could have been saved from that earthquake effect. So this is another lesson that we learn from an earthquake effect. This is another classic example that happens normally. Say for example, I have constructed a 2-story building और ऊपर मैंने 10 सेंटीमीटर की राड्स मेरे कॉलम से छूटी हुई है, बहुत ज्यादा लंबी राड नहीं छूटी हुई है, मान लो बाय द वे 10 सेंटीमीटर 15 सेंटीमीटर की कॉलम बार is left there at the top roof surface, and sometimes I thought that I should construct another 2-story building over that. Then engineer will come, then the mason will come, then the person owner will be there. फिर मेसन बोलेगा चल जाएगा, तो ओनर भी बोलेगा चल जाएगा, और वहां पे खड़ा हुआ इंजीनियर भी बोलेगा चल जाएगा, और इस प्रकार से उसको चला देते हैं. और in this way the whole 2-story building is constructed without having proper joint with the old building. ऐसा होता है, हर जगह होता है, सब आपने अनुभव किया होगा. ये तब तक जब तक ग्रेविटी लोड है तब तक चल जाता है, लेकिन किसी को पता नहीं था कि कब
Audio is disturbing, sir. Getting disturbed.
negligence, I should say that say for example what happens is that I have a 2-story building constructed for me, और ऊपर के जो कॉलम्स के लिए 10 सेंटीमीटर 15 सेंटीमीटर की बार्स छूटी हुई है. फिर समटाइम्स आई थिंक दैट आई शुड कंस्ट्रक्ट अनदर 2-story ओवर इट. तो मेसन आता है, इंजीनियर्स आता है, और ओनर रहता है. ओनर की इच्छा है कि 2 स्टोरी बना दे. मेसन कहता है कि मैंने ऐसे बहुत सारी बिल्डिंग बनाए हैं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, वी विल कंस्ट्रक्ट. यस, हो जाएगा. तो ओनर भी कहता है हो जाएगा, तो बाजू में खड़ा हुआ इंजीनियर भी कहता है हो जाएगा, और इस प्रकार से एन एटीट्यूड ऑफ नेग्लिजेंस गोज अराउंड एंड बिल्डिंग बना दी जाती है without having a proper connection with the old building. The building is constructed, और जब 5 साल 10 साल चलती है तो वो मेसन के सामने जो अगर इंजीनियर थोड़ा बहुत भी अपना ज्ञान दिखा रहा होगा कि भाई नहीं ऐसा नहीं चलेगा, उसकी हंसी भी उड़ा देते हैं. मार्केट में ऐसा भी ये है कि वो देखो मेसन ने बना दिया, ये इंजीनियर को समझ में नहीं आ रहा था. लेकिन जब अर्थक्वेक आता है तब अर्थक्वेक बोलता है कि नो, एटीट्यूड ऑफ एक्सीलेंस विल प्रिवेल, नॉट द एटीट्यूड ऑफ नेग्लिजेंस दैट विल. So this is an example of attitude of negligence, having a improper connection of the upper 2-story with the old 2-story building. And as soon an earthquake took place, the upper 2-story collapsed because of this improper connection. Here is the importance of that attitude of this excellence. अगर उसको properly treat करके काम करोगे तो कर पाओगे, otherwise it is not possible, or it is not good to have a construction like this. This has told us like, okay,
how to connect it properly. How to connect it properly.
How to connect it properly is all engineering practice. Actually, या तो उस लोकेशन पे पहले देखो कि वेल्ड से काम चल जाएगा क्या, उसकी लेंथ वेल्ड के हिसाब से सफिशिएंट है कि नहीं, as per codal provisions, so that a rigidity in the connection or the as per development length requirement is there with the welding or not. पहली चीज तो इसको देखो. अगर ये नहीं है तो फिर आपको वहां पे स्टील कनेक्शन पे जाना पड़ेगा, जिसमें कि आप बोल्ट उसके अंदर बोल्ट ड्रिल करके सम इपॉक्सी ग्राउटिंग करके, वो मैं रेट्रोफिटिंग में कुछ आएगा उस टाइप का, वो करके आप नया कनेक्शन करना चाहिए अगर आप उसको सिस्मिकली डिजाइन करना चाहते हो. समझ में आया ना? इट इज लाइक दैट. दिस इज अनदर एग्जांपल.
What I see in new construction also, when they join two rods, they just use this GI wire. That's all. They don't do the welding.
देखो GI wire has nothing to do with strength. उसकी जगह आप धागा भी बांधेंगे तो चल जाएगा, मैं आपको कह रहा हूँ. लेकिन एक रॉड से दूसरी रॉड
also, sir.
हाँ,
I have not seen welding machines on a construction site.
नहीं, welding machine. No. You are taking this different way. Actually, welding machine की तब जरूरत है, welding की तब जरूरत है जब आपके पास में available rod जिसके ऊपर ओवरलैप करना है वो डेवलपमेंट लेंथ की रिक्वायरमेंट से कम हो. जैसे कि मैंने बोला 10 सेंटीमीटर लेंथ की है, जबकि अगर वो 12 mm की सरिया है और M20 का कंक्रीट है तो आई रिक्वायर 60 सेंटीमीटर ऑफ दैट लेंथ. अगर वो कॉलम की रॉड 60 सेंटीमीटर ऊपर निकली हुई होती तो इंस्टेड ऑफ 10 तो हम उस 60 सेंटीमीटर का ओवरलैप देके ऊपर का कंस्ट्रक्शन करते तो ये प्रॉब्लम नहीं आती. हाँ, लेकिन चूंकि वहां पे 15 सेंटीमीटर या 10 सेंटीमीटर अवेलेबल था और मेसन ने बोल दिया कि चलता है और हमने कर दिया, वो गलत किया. चलता है ऐसे नहीं होगा. वहां पे या तो अगर 15 सेंटीमीटर है तो एज पर कोड देखना पड़ेगा कि 15 सेंटीमीटर की वेल्डिंग से वो 60 सेंटीमीटर की लेंथ का काम हो जाता है कि नहीं. मतलब विदाउट वेल्डिंग 60 सेंटीमीटर और विथ वेल्डिंग 15 सेंटीमीटर इज ओके आर नॉट, उसको चेक करके उसको आगे बढ़ाना था. और अगर नहीं होता, मान लो 10 से भी कम सेंटीमीटर रहती तो हम उसको दूसरा प्रोविजन देते, दूसरे टाइप का प्रोविजन एज ए रेट्रोफिटिंग स्कीम दिया जाता है. दिस इज व्हाट एक्चुअली आई मीन टू से. ओके सर. सिंघई साहब, हेलो हेलो.
यस सर.
ऑफ कर दिया था सर, इसलिए टाइम लगता है.
ओके, नहीं, वॉइस का बहुत इशू है इसलिए मैं देख रहा हूँ. ओके, दिस इज अनदर काइंड ऑफ ए प्रॉब्लम. अभी तक के सिविल इंजीनियरिंग में हम पढ़ते हैं शॉर्ट कॉलम इज गुड एंड लॉन्ग कॉलम इज बैड बिकॉज लॉन्ग कॉलम में बकलिंग इफेक्ट बहुत ज्यादा होता है. शॉर्ट कॉलम जैसे जैसे शॉर्टर होगा वो क्रशिंग में फेल होने जाएगा और क्रशिंग की स्ट्रेंथ काफी होती है एज कंपेयर टू दैट स्ट्रेंथ इन बकलिंग. दिस इज ट्रू फॉर ग्रेविटी लोड. But as soon an earthquake comes, तो earthquake मैंने पहले ही बताया, earthquake is a vibration. When I say it is a vibration, it means I am talking about its to and fro displacement as well as acceleration in that displacement. I am talking about these terms in when I am saying it as a vibration. तो जब to and fro displacement की बात आई तो earthquake तो इस लोकेशन पे, चूंकि यहाँ तक के बाउंड्री वॉल बनी हुई है और फर्स्ट फ्लोर यहाँ है एंड दिस कॉलम हैज कम इनटू ए कंडीशन ऑफ ए शॉर्ट कॉलम. अब जब अर्थक्वेक ने उसको हिट किया एंड नाउ दिस पर्टिकुलर लोकेशन इट इज वाइब्रेटिंग डेल्टा, द डेल्टा अमाउंट ऑफ डिस्प्लेसमेंट दैट अर्थक्वेक इज गोइंग टू कॉज, चाहे वो चींटी हो चाहे वो हाथी हो, दोनों को वो डेल्टा अमाउंट से हिलाने वाला है. तो जो डेल्टा अमाउंट से ये हिलाएगा इसको, इफ इट विल डिस्प्लेस इट बाय डेल्टा अमाउंट ह्यूज 6 EI डेल्टा एंड डिनोमिनेटर में L स्क्वायर है और डिनोमिनेटर जैसे जैसे कम होते जाएगा वैसे वैसे ये क्वांटिटी 6 EI डेल्टा अपॉन L स्क्वायर बढ़ते जाएगी. एंड दिस इज व्हाट हैपेंड हियर दैट 6 EI डेल्टा अपॉन स्मॉल L स्क्वायर एंड 12 EI डेल्टा अपॉन स्मॉल L क्यूब इज टू लार्ज to be registered by this column at this location. And this is called as the short column effect in case of earthquake. So remember in column is concerned, it is very different from a ordinary way of understanding the structural engineering other than earthquake. So in this way it creates too large amount of a moment and shear at this location causing the failure. अगर ऐसा करना है तो उसकी मेथड्स दी गई है. वो बोलता है कि या तो इस वॉल को इससे डायरेक्ट कनेक्ट मत रखो, थोड़ा सा गैप रखो. देयर शुड बी ए कनेक्शन गैप इन बिटवीन द टू. अगर ये पॉसिबल नहीं है तो फिर इस कॉलम को वैसा डिजाइन करो जैसा उसके ऊपर फोर्स आने वाला है ड्यू टू अर्थक्वेक. इतनी अगर हमारी समझ होगी तो ये फेलर नहीं होगा. Even this smaller failure can lead to the collapse of whole building, and that is how dangerous is this situation. Okay. Now next coming to a location, this is importance of development length and anchorage. Here there is a column supported with piles here, and what happened during an earthquake, all these rods are just coming away out from the from the piles because they were not having of sufficient anchorage or development length available with the piles. तो पाइल तो वहीं रह गया, कॉलम ऊपर से खिसक गया, मतलब पूरा उसने पूरी बार्स को लेके बाहर आ गया. एंड दिस इज हाउ द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ डेवलपमेंट लेंथ और इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ एनकरेज, इट शोज लाइक दैट. This is how a failure happened in one of the location. Then this is another new lesson that is learned. Actually, this is a new lesson that is learned in Bhuj earthquake. This is a simple 2-story girls hostel actually. 2-story girls hostel having a staircase at this front location. और नेचुरली जैसे हम कॉमनली करते हैं, स्टेयरकेस को अलग से कोई तवज्जो नहीं देते, अलग से कोई इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं देते. स्टेयरकेस और बिल्डिंग एक साथ मोनोलिथिकली बनती है. दिस इज व्हाट हैपेंड इन ऑल द प्लेसेस, नो प्रॉब्लम विद दैट. बट व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन अर्थक्वेक हिट्स द एरिया एंड द बिल्डिंग इज से वाइब्रेटिंग इन दिस एक्सिस, the structural system of a staircase is entirely different than that of a building. बिल्डिंग में हर एक फ्लोर लेवल पे कॉलम से सपोर्टेड बीम्स होती है और बीम पे सपोर्टेड स्लैब्स होती है. लेकिन इन केस ऑफ दिस स्टेयर देयर इज ए डायगोनल आरसीसी वेस्ट स्लैब इज गोइंग डायगोनली ऐसा चलते हुए स्टेप्स बनाते, फ्लाइट्स ऑफ स्टेयरकेसेस आर देयर फॉर स्टेयरकेस. Now naturally it has more rigid and more stiffer a system in case of a staircase as compared to that of a building. तो बिल्डिंग के साथ में वो वाइब्रेट सेम फ्रीक्वेंसी में करने में असमर्थ है. इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल टू वाइब्रेट इन द सेम फ्रीक्वेंसी एज द होल बिल्डिंग इज वाइब्रेटिंग. इसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी कुछ अलग है, इसके वाइब्रेशन कैरेक्टरिस्टिक स्टेयरकेस का एक अलग है और बिल्डिंग का अलग है. एंड द आयरनी ऑफ द सिचुएशन is that naturally जब अर्थक्वेक आएगा तो सभी लोग सीढ़ी की तरफ भागेंगे और इसमें स्टेयरकेस का सिस्टम में देयर इज ए वेस्ट स्लैब, आरसीसी वेस्ट स्लैब जाती है जो फ्लाइट्स के साथ में जैसे जैसे हम स्टेप्स चलते हैं उसके नीचे आरसीसी की स्लैब रहती है. तो आरसीसी की स्लैब से बना हुआ स्टेयरकेस जो डायगोनली उसकी स्लैब जाती है, दैट हैज ए डिफरेंट नेचर ऑफ इट्स फ्रीक्वेंसी एज कंपेयर टू दैट ऑफ ए बिल्डिंग. बिल्डिंग की फ्रीक्वेंसी एकदम अलग है और स्टेयरकेस की फ्रीक्वेंसी अलग है. ऐसे केस में जब ये दोनों वाइब्रेट हो रहे हैं एंड बिकॉज ऑफ डिफरेंट फ्रीक्वेंसी एंड डिफरेंट नेचर ऑफ देयर वाइब्रेशन, दिस पोर्शन गॉट कोलैप्स्ड. This stair portion got collapsed and people who were girls जो है कैंडिडेट, वो जो इसके अंदर से इसको चलते हुए आ रही थी वो एक्चुअली उसमें ट्रैप हो गई and there were 9 casualties in this. So it is now a lesson actually that is learned from that earthquake, that staircase portion should be constructed in earthquake prone area primarily. That staircase portion, that part should be constructed separately from the building and there should be an expansion joint with the building. That is what show that they both are vibrating in a different mode as per their wish during an earthquake, and there will not be any collapse taking place because of this non meeting of the vibration characteristics. That is what is a lesson learned from this earthquake action. This is one more example of, this is actually a shear wall in a sense that it is a lift core basically of a building. A lift core is, as I said, is a part which has huge this flexural rigidity, and hence जब उसकी स्टिफनेस बहुत ज्यादा है तो सबसे ज्यादा फोर्स ये अट्रैक्ट करेगा ड्यूरिंग एन अर्थक्वेक. और जब ये सबसे ज्यादा फोर्स अट्रैक्ट करेगा तो आजू बाजू के कॉलम को फोर्स जो आने वाला है दैट विल बी वेरी वेरी लेस. एंड ऑल these other columns are just saved because of the proper connectivity. As I said in earlier case की connectivity नहीं थी तो कैसा हुआ इसमें, because these columns are having good connectivity with this shear wall system of a lift core, that the whole building is saved from collapse. हालांकि उसमें डैमेज आया लेकिन डैमेज आना उतना महत्वपूर्ण नहीं है या उतना प्रॉब्लमेटिक नहीं है जितना कि बिल्डिंग को सेव कर देना। इसने अपने ऊपर सारा फोर्स लेके खुद डैमेज होके पूरी बिल्डिंग को सेव कर दिया। दिस इज व्हाट हैपेंड बिकॉज ऑफ द प्रॉपर कनेक्टिविटी एंड हैविंग दिस लिफ्ट कोर पोर्शन इंटैक्ट। नाउ व्हेन such lift cores are subjected to and fro, ये example this X shape of actually ये जो X shape का जो failure है that is showing that there is a to and fro motion due to earthquake। आगे पीछे हो रहा है, इसलिए एक बार में एक पोर्शन टेंशन में आता है, दूसरे बार में दूसरा पोर्शन टेंशन में आता है और क्रेक जनरेट होते हैं। अगर ये प्रॉपरली अर्थक्वेक के पॉइंट ऑफ से डिजाइन होता तो शायद ये क्रेक भी नहीं आते, इस कॉलम में भी क्रेक नहीं आता और बिल्डिंग तो वैसे भी सेफ है बिकॉज ऑफ दिस फेलर, लेकिन अच्छे से भी डिजाइन किया जा सकता था। दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट टू हाईलाइट। दिस इज अनदर क्लासिकल एग्जांपल ऑफ हाउ ए कॉलम कैन सेव ए बिल्डिंग। अभी ये इसको डैमेज रूप में देख रहे हैं, लेकिन इट इज नॉट द डैमेज, इट इज द सेविंग ऑफ दैट बिल्डिंग होल बिकॉज ऑफ हैविंग ए प्रॉपरली कन्फाइंड कंक्रीट हियर कास्टेड। क्योंकि इसमें बहुत पास में क्लोजली स्पेस्ड रिंग्स वर देयर एंड ड्यूरिंग एन अर्थक्वेक अंदर के कंक्रीट, भले ही वो क्रश हो गया होगा अंदर का कंक्रीट, लेकिन उसको बाहर आने का मौका नहीं दिया गया। और जब तक कि वो बाहर नहीं आया तब तक के इसका वर्टिकल लोड लेने की क्षमता इसकी बरकरार है। इट हैज ऑल द कैपेबिलिटी टू टेक दिस वर्टिकल लोड फ्रॉम इट, and because of this confinement of concrete that it has saved the whole building. This is not a failure, this is actually a saving of the building because of this confinement effect that has been actually properly, that casting of this column has done with proper confinement of the concrete. This is a classical example of that actually. So in nutshell, there is a great earthquake engineer from USA, Henry Degenkolb. He has given a statement and that statement tells everything, because these days we go to the architects and architects actually plans a building in a way as they wish, basically जो भी उनका ब्यूटी का परसेप्शन होता है, लेकिन उसमें स्ट्रक्चरल समझ है कि नहीं, ये बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है। जब अर्थक्वेक आता है तो वो स्ट्रक्चरल समझ काम आती है rather than that beauty facets that they are actually providing. So what this Degenkolb has told is, if he has given this statement that if we have a poor configuration, जैसे आर्किटेक्ट ने अर्थक्वेक के बिना सोचे समझे एक प्लान डिसाइड किया कि ऐसे यहाँ पे पोर्च निकलेगा, यहाँ पे कैंटिलीवर निकलेगा, यहाँ पे ये होगा, ऐसा कुछ भी सोच के poor configuration to start with, all that a great engineer, I should say, rather than an engineer, all that a great engineer can do is only to provide a band-aid solution to improve the basically poor configuration as best as he can. वो केवल बैंड एड जैसे काम करेगा, टेम्पररी रिलीफ दे सकता है, बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा उसको कर नहीं पाएगा ग्रेट इंजीनियर भी, अगर आप पुअर कॉन्फ़िगरेशन से शुरू कर रहे हो। दिस इज हाउ इज द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ द कॉन्फ़िगरेशन एंड प्लानिंग ऑफ ए बिल्डिंग। कन्वर्सली इफ वी स्टार्ट ऑफ विथ ए गुड कॉन्फ़िगरेशन, अगर बिल्डिंग का प्लान सिमेट्रिक हो, अच्छे इसमें सिमेट्रिसिटी में सेंटर ऑफ मास, सेंटर ऑफ रिजिडिटी, ये सारे पैरामीटर्स आते हैं, that I am not talking right now, but all these parameters is taken care of and a building has a good configuration in that terms and reasonable framing system। जैसे हम बीम कॉलम में फ्रेमिंग करते हैं कि बीम से कॉलम रिजिडली कनेक्टेड हो और कॉलम से स्लेब हो, इस प्रकार से सिस्टम बने, then इवन ए पुअर इंजीनियर, जैसे कि हमने कल इंटरव्यू में लिया, उस टाइप के पुअर इंजीनियर कैन नॉट हार्म इट्स अल्टीमेट परफॉर्मेंस टू मच। तो पुअर इंजीनियर भी उसको, उसके परफॉर्मेंस को खराब नहीं कर पाएगा और इसके कारण भी बहुत सी बिल्डिंग टिकी रह जाती है, अच्छी हो जाती है। इसके कॉन्फ़िगरेशन का बहुत बड़ा रोल है। तो दिस इज एन इंपॉर्टेंट take away from this earthquake understanding, that we must have a building with good configuration and reasonable framing system। ये reasonable framing system में ही वो negligence का एक part आता है, जो what I said in Ahmedabad that hundreds of the building collapsed in Ahmedabad, उसमें most of the cases में naturally the ground कि उसको बोलता है कि ये नीचे आप बीम क्यों दे रहे हो प्लिंथ पे, तो बोलता है साहब देना पड़ता है, उसको पता नहीं है कि क्यों दे रहे हैं, वो बोलता है देना पड़ता है, तो वो बोलता है कि बीम जिसकी वास्तव में स्ट्रक्चरली जरूरत उस समय दिखती नहीं, क्योंकि दीवार basically what we require from a building is like this. This is at the time when this twin tower was collapsed due to this. So people have sent it like this. Actually, we require from a building to be flexible and ductile rather than ductile building हम चाहते हैं. तो this is signifying a ductile building जिसमें large deformation होते हुए भी gravity load को लेने की क्षमता बनी रहे, ये important है earthquake engineering में. So now from there I am coming to this seismic retrofitting aspect of it. So we must be clear about these various terms which are actually synonymously taken in use. One is repair, maintenance, restoration, strengthening and retrofitting. ये term हम बार बार use करते हैं frequently. So we must understand what do we mean by all these terms. So basically, if this is a building when it was constructed at this location has a initial strength like this. If this is the initial strength it has, over the time when it is not maintained properly, it will follow this curve of its strength. स्ट्रेंथ उसकी रिड्यूस होते जाएगी, और अगर किसी लोकेशन पे उसमें डैमेज हो गया कोई बिकॉज ऑफ अर्थक्वेक और बिकॉज ऑफ एनी situation or rusting of the concrete has steel has taken place like this, because of this damage there is again further reduction in the strength. If it is maintained well, then also even with the maintenance it will reduce its strength with time. Now what do we mean by repair is just bringing to this maintainable condition from a damaged or without maintenance condition से हम maintenance करके इस maintenance condition में लाते हैं. Repair and maintenance is like this. Restoration is something bringing to its initial strength condition, and strengthening is something that a building which was constructed where not, say for example उस समय उसका यूज एज ए रेसिडेंशियल बिल्डिंग था और अब वो ऑफिस बिल्डिंग हो गया, उसका पर्पस चेंज हो गया, लाइब्रेरी बन गई, तो उसमें लोडिंग नेचुरली बढ़ने वाली है, या कि अर्थक्वेक जोन 2 जोन में था अब वो 3 जोन के हिसाब से फोर्सेस लेना है, या कि वो अर्थक्वेक के हिसाब डिजाइन नहीं की, अर्थक्वेक के हिसाब से retrofitting and strengthening of the structure, giving more than that during construction whatever the strength, उससे भी ज्यादा strength को acquire कराना उस building में, that is basically called as retrofitting and strengthening of the system. So in that sense we are talking about seismic retrofitting of the structural system. So in definition, it is the modification of existing structure to make them more resistant to seismic activities, ground motion or soil failure due to earthquake. To the retrofit techniques are also applicable for other natural hazards like cyclones. Seismic retrofitting gives improvement to an existing building and increasing the global capacity of the building. This is how we talk about. Now there are various ways in which a strengthening or retrofitting is done. There is section enlargement techniques, there is external plate bonding, there is post tensioning technique. Most means with promise is this fiber reinforced polymer composites being used. So I will talk more on this, but in a process I will talk about all this. That what we mean by section enlargement, this is called as jacketing. Say for example, this is my original beam and I want to strengthen it. Naturally, the system is that whatever is I am putting there should be in monolithic action with the old system. Then only there will be enhancement in its capability, like taking the bending moment or taking the shear force. This providing this monolithic condition needs some understanding. So here there is a hole drilled here and it is connected with some epoxy material, and then this reinforcement bars are put like this, where these horizontal bars for taking the tension during bending is applied, and these are properly connected. and then concrete portion, so that now with the old concrete, old beam, this new structure is monolithically attached. When they are monolithically attached, then we can say that it is acting monolithically, and hence its bending resistance capacity, shear resistance capacity is enhanced, and that is how we will call it as a retrofitted or strengthened member. It has certain advantages and it also has certain disadvantages also. Size increase हो जाता है. यही प्रॉब्लम अभी एक एम्स रायपुर में भी जो बेसमेंट एरिया है उसमें जो एक स्कीम कहीं से आई है, उसमें जो enlargement का दिया है उसके कारण उसका हेडरूम का प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है. तो basically that is not to be applied there, that concept of this kind of a jacketing, because already there is a less amount of headroom available, और उसको इस प्रकार से बढ़ाने से आपका और further problem होता है. That is how is the problem. Then there are steel plates bonded with the old structure with certain epoxy adhesives, and इस प्रकार से उसको horizontal इसमें shear enhancement capacity भी होती है, bending capacity भी by bonding the steel. आपका कंक्रीट स्ट्रक्चर मजबूत पहले से होना चाहिए, अब उसकी कैपेसिटी आप बढ़ा रहे हो, दैट इज डिफरेंट थिंग. लेकिन कंक्रीट खुद ही डेटेरियोरेटेड है, स्टील उसमें के अंदर का ऑलरेडी से फॉर एग्जांपल ऑलरेडी वो रस्टेड है, तो इसमें बहुत ज्यादा वो बॉन्ड प्रॉपर नहीं होगा, एंड हेंस द सिस्टम विल नॉट वर्क as we expect from it. Then there is, in case of bridges, sometimes if there is a big girder which is already pre-stressed girder, then अगर उसकी pre-stressing कम हो गई या force उसमें और ज्यादा आने वाला है, तो external pre-stressing system can be arranged like this with jacks, pre-stressing jacks here. These are the ducts passing, और इसके अंदर से tendons जाते हैं, and it can be pulled, and that way it can be re-strengthened through post-tensioning mechanism. Similarly, for smaller purposes, this ferro cement techniques is also applied. जैसे ऊपर की स्लेब की अगर स्ट्रेंथनिंग करनी हो, तो जहां पे सपोज करो सपोर्ट लोकेशंस में क्रैक्स आ रहा हो, तो वहां पे स्टील मेश रख के कंक्रीटिंग अगर कर दोगे, तो उसका केवल कंक्रीटिंग करोगे विदाउट स्टील मेश, तो वो जस्ट उसका साइज बढ़ा देगा, लेकिन क्रैक्स फिर से 1-2 साल में फिर से आ जाएंगे. लेकिन अगर आपने स्टील मेश करके किया है और प्रॉपर बॉन्डिंग किया है, मींस बॉन्डिंग एजेंट शुड बी देयर इन बिटवीन ओल्ड एंड न्यू कंक्रीट, अगर ऐसा किया है तो वो फर्दर क्रैक्स नहीं आएंगे, क्योंकि टेंशन विल बी टेकन बाय this steel mesh. That is how is the technique. But the promising one is this strengthening using fiber reinforced polymer composites. These are light in weight, high in strength, corrosion resistant and highly versatile, because जिस शेप में जैसा चाहो वैसा कर सकते हो. Am I audible? मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
हाँ बिल्कुल आ रही है, बहुत अच्छे से आ रही है.
So ठीक. So with this, if there is a comparison, so we get this basically carbon fibers are very strong, and these are actually used as a fiber reinforced polymer composites for retrofitting purposes. Carbon fibers has good strength and comparable strength with the steel, and that way they are used basically. So now how to apply FRP is again a question, that temperature, relative humidity, surface moisture at the time of installation can affect the performance of the FRP system. Conditions to be observed before and during installation is there. A heat source can be used to rise the surface temperature during installation, क्योंकि डैम पोर्शन में, डैम पे या वेट कंडीशन में ये प्रॉपर्ली उससे चिपकेगा नहीं, प्रॉपर्ली एडेशन विल नॉट बी देयर, एंड हेंस इफेक्टिवनेस ऑफ एफआरपी विल नॉट बी देयर विद द ओल्ड स्ट्रक्चर, मींस मोनोलिथिक कंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं हो पाएगा. तो द मेथड इज द सरफेस मस्ट बी क्लीन्ड एंड रफन्ड to ensure a good bond. An adhesive layer of epoxy is applied to the structure's prepared surface, and FRP strips are put in place over the epoxy. Clamps are commonly used for up to the curing time, epoxy curing time, and another layer of epoxy is done. This is how this whole process of FRP layers are used for re-strengthening of the building. This is how it is placed is for, if I have to फ्लेक्सरली स्ट्रेंथ मींस बेंडिंग स्ट्रेंथ उसकी बढ़ाना है, तो ये बॉटम सरफेस में बीम के या साइड में इन द बॉटम पोर्शन, इन दिस टेंशन जोन, ये बॉटम इज द टेंशन जोन. इस टेंशन जोन में इफ आई अप्लाई दिस एफआरपी, इट विल गिव राइज टू द स्ट्रेंथ, बेंडिंग स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ द बीम. If I want to increase its shear capacity, then this kind of a bonding of FRP should be done to increase its shear capacity in this way. And if for the column I want to increase its capacity of the column, then confining FRP should be placed all around the column system. This is how it is done. Now I am talking about retrofitting of footing system. This is one such example of a footing. Now, by the way, from analysis or for retrofitting purpose with higher load that is say expected to come, और by the way ऐसा हो गया कि जो footing का size है वो sufficient है, क्योंकि bearing footing size will depend on the safe bearing capacity of soil. और by the way, whatever the footing size is provided is okay for me, but I need the reinforcement उसके नीचे जो यहाँ पे लगा हुआ है, इस bottom portion में जो reinforcement आपने footing में डाला है वो कम है. ऐसी अगर सिचुएशन है तो कैसा करना चाहिए? तो नेचुरली यू ऑल विल बी एग्री विथ मी कि नीचे से रीइंफोर्समेंट डालना तो बहुत ही कठिन काम है, क्योंकि ये पूरा सिस्टम उसके ऊपर लोड देते हुए जमीन के अंदर लोड जा रहा है. नीचे कैसे रॉड मोनोलिथिक अटैचमेंट विद दिस कंक्रीट पोर्शन कैसे की करेंगे, ये बहुत डिफिकल्ट है. तो एक सेकंड एस्पेक्ट है कि इफ I increase the thickness of this footing, then the requirement of reinforcement reduces. Reinforcement की requirement reduce कम हो जाती है जब मैं उसकी thickness बढ़ाता हूँ, क्योंकि bending moment के लिए कर रहा है, मैं D को बढ़ा के depth बढ़ा के reinforcement की requirement को कम कर रहा हूँ. तो but when I am increasing this depth, how should I increase so that it is monolithic with the old concrete platform? So for that these shear connectors are implant there, means यहाँ पे होल ड्रिल करेंगे, उसमें इपॉक्सी ग्राउटिंग करेंगे और ये रॉड को बाहर निकालेंगे ताकि इट हैज सर्टेन पुल आउट लेंथ, पुल आउट स्ट्रेंथ, मतलब इसको खींचा जाएगा तो ये बहुत ताकतवर है, ये आसानी से निकलने वाला नहीं है. अगर ऐसी कंडीशन हमने क्रिएट कर दी है, अब इसके ऊपर हम कंक्रीटिंग करेंगे तो दैट न्यू कंक्रीट विल बी मोनोलिथिक with the old concrete, and hence the footing is retrofitted for the new load. This is how it is being taken. In the similar way, if sometimes I require that the bearing capacity of soil is less and I need to increase the size of the footing, then it is difficult. However, we can put these bars for increased size, but these bars and concrete done here in this location must be in monolithic contact with the old concrete pedestal. So these kinds of shear connecting bars to be taken out with drilling and putting epoxy in it, and then concreting done. In that case, these bars will be effectively taking the bending moment and thus giving a larger area to this column system for safety of the column, load. The third one, this is about the retrofitting of a combined footing, means there is an isolated footing and I need to enlarge its area, so there is a necessity of a combined footing, so this can be done in this way. Then this is a jacketing kind of a work. You must have seen in many places that concrete columns are jacketed by the angles, steel angles, and this way these angles are taking certain loads and the column is taking certain loads separately. They are not monolithic in action, but they are taking separate, and that way the capacity is enhanced here. This is reinforced and concrete. The old concrete column is connected with the new concrete portion, and that way it is done. At many places it has been done, and this is a particularly retrofitting using column using FRPC. तो FRPC wrapping की जाती है. Old column का पूरा surface is roughened, surface is brushed done, and this is about the beam that wrapping is done. रैपिंग और एनहेंसमेंट रैपिंग किया गया है बीम का. 3 मिलीमीटर थिकनेस के होते हैं. 2, 3, 4 से आप को बढ़ा सकते हैं. This is how it is done. Hydrology for retrofitting done. This is what we thought in our during my one of the project, that of the
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First of all, thank you everyone for being patient during the period of technical glitches. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable information regarding this very important topic of retrofitting in a quite interesting and effective way. Although we have faced a lot of challenges, but you are quite patient during that period. Uh, I would like to mention the way you have highlighted every damage issue with the proper picture was quite helpful in understanding the topic. I wish the talk will definitely help in shaping an attitude of excellence, as you mentioned a lot of times in our personality. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Professor Ramtekar, for your nice presentation. Though there were some disturbances due to net connectivity and all those things, one more request is there. Kindly share your presentation so that our participants may see it if they require. You can send your presentation through my mail. Okay. And we are thankful to you, sir, for sparing valuable time for us. And you are our distinguished alumni also. So that we are proud of you. Yeah. So thanks to you.
Definitely, sir.
Yeah, definitely that will be beneficial for our participants. Really. Thankful. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, Deepi,
Yes,
our
sir.
next presentation, Professor